Hey there gardeners, Chris from Steading. I wanted to talk about essentially almost the anatomy of a garden bed. This has been in for a single season and we took a pretty typical approach. In the base of the bed we put cardboard, then we put a whole heap of sticks and things like that which are partially broken down. And then we had our soil mix, which was a bit of a mix of kind of recycled core and a nice soil mix, and then a little bit of mulch on top. And what we noticed when we got to the tail end of the season where we were growing melons is that they were drying out significantly, and that was a real problem. Like, we couldn't keep them moist enough. And now I've dug up the bed because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some geotextile fabric down the bottom and some weed matting, because that's just what I've got. I'd rather use geotextile, but we'll have to use some weed matting so I can get this job done today, because I've just gotten in a little bit of trouble about not having the beds ready for some seedlings that are ready to go. And I wanted to show you what's happening here, and this is what's happening in our whole garden. This is a big pot of the soil I've dug out, and as you can see, it's full of roots. And we've got our magnolias here, which are beautiful trees. They give really good cover to the house, but it's pretty clear that they are putting their roots through and up into our garden bed. And because these garden beds, if I was just growing like a jasmine, a vine to grow up over our arch, and I wasn't really worried about the productivity, I'd just let the jasmine go and fight it out with our magnolias. However, we're trying to grow productive crops here. So we had melons in before. We're going to be putting peas and maybe beans and things like that in the colder weather. And it's important, because this is quite a small garden bed, that there is really goodness, I guess you'd say, in the soil, but also that the trees aren't directly stealing all of that goodness out. So just looking through here, you can see those roots are quite established, and again, super dry. They've grown through that. That's the core. You can kind of see bits, like kind of chunky bits of it, which I put in the base of the bed thinking it'll hold moisture. And obviously it hasn't really worked the way I intended, because these big roots have come through and they've just sucked all the goodness out. And obviously a shout out for the Jack garden bed. It's obviously looking a bit grimy after a season, so like 6 months of growth in it, but it's still holding together. There is some obvious corrosion. It's still on the flimsy side when it's not full of soil, but we'll reuse this. And yeah, it certainly hasn't really disappointed in function. It could be a bit better built, but it is what it is. And yeah, I wouldn't be too upset buying one of these as, yeah, a shorter term option. Maybe not a 5 or 10 year option, but maybe they'll last that long. So I've raked out this area and you can just see how many of the roots have come up. And obviously we don't want to just like kill off all these roots, because we've got our beautiful magnolias, which are very popular with the birds. They give us good protection, and as you can see, the roots aren't like invasive enough to be an issue for the footings of the house, but for a garden perspective, there's a lot of competition here. A big complaint about weed matting is that you put it down, you put, your gravel or whatever on top of it, and then you get your weeds growing on top of it. So the main complaint about weed matting shouldn't matter to us, because that's what we want. We want to put soil on top of it and we want to grow on top of it. Now again, single layer, the criticism seems to be that it doesn't do a very good job. However, I've heard in comparison, multiple layers is the way to go, and that's what we're doing. So this is a doubled up layer down the bottom here, and then we'll use one big piece and we'll line the bed and run it up the sides of the bed and then fill it with soil, because one of the issues that we don't want happening is we don't want the roots sneaking in, and that is probably a big risk if we put a single layer and we just kind of laid it on the ground. Obviously, if it's lined all the way up the sides of the bed, it either has to get through the fabric, which is a possibility, or it needs to grow, the roots need to grow up and in, and we'll see them. So we're just trying to do it in kind of a foolproof way, I guess you'd say. So we've got our reused Jack garden bed back in place. It's obviously not the flattest because we had all those roots, and I don't want to cut them all off because I don't want to damage the trees. And we'll put our extra level of lining in, and hopefully that'll do us. There's a good bit of overlap on either side. So what I might even be able to get away with, and we'll probably try this because we've got so much overlap over the edges of this, I'm just going to use another doubled up piece. So we're going to end up with 4 layers, and it means we won't be able to get it coming up over the top edge, but it should do the job. Should. And part of the thing about this solution is the roots underneath it, they're still going to get a bit of moisture, a bit of the fertilizer from the garden bed if it stays moist. And so hopefully that'll keep everyone happy. So we've got our sticks packed back into the bottom of the garden bed on top of our weed matting. I just thought I'd chuck them back in. There's going to be worms in the soil that we're putting back in just because of the way we've done it. But unlike before, they're not going to be able to make their way back out of the garden bed unless they crawl over the top. So they're a little bit captured, I guess you'd say. And we're now going to just fill this with the old soil and then amend it a little bit with some fresh soil and some compost because we don't have a lot of stuff and it's the Easter weekend, so all the shops are closed. In a bit of a stroke of luck, I've got a bag of regular compost, organic, and mushroom compost, also organic, and some of our recycled core. Now, the reason we're doing this for this bed, we're reusing the soil that was already in it, has a lot of roots in it, and the thing to keep in mind is, number one, it's quite hydrophobic, so probably before I add these in, I'm going to give this a really good water, and these are nice and moist soil amendments, so they will help it hold water, but more importantly, in a way, is the simple fact that because the trees have been sucking all the goodness out of this soil, it's very, very poor at this stage. And while it's looking pretty healthy on like the worm front, and even I'd guess kind of that soil microbiology kind of front, we've just upset it all by digging it all up. And as a result, we put in our amendments. So we'll have like 50 litres of mixed compost, another 20-ish litres of the core, which is mainly just to hold moisture, nothing else. We'll chuck our other soil in, and then maybe we might need to go up to our soil pile from a soil delivery and get a little bit of that to chuck it in as well, because again, that's a little bit fresher and it's holding moisture as well. And then we really should be ready to plant straight into it, which should be good. Okay, so we've got our soil delivery on top, mixed in a little bit with our compost, our recycled core, little bit of mulch to go on top, and we're good to plant. And probably the only concern on the planting side of things is whether we need some little protectors for our seedlings to make sure nothing comes along and chomps the top off them, because that's been happening a lot more recently. The other thing I would say is I think if you've got them, and I'm going to have to go and see if we've got them lying around because I don't really want to buy them, I would even say roll up your weed matting and just put a brick against it. The weed matting generally is not UV resistant, so it'll break down in sunlight. So you want to put something between it and the sunlight, but you also want something to hold it kind of up so that the roots aren't just going to come over the top of it. Obviously for us we've got 4 layers, so it's less of an issue, but you still don't really want it to happen because it'll just increase how much of your nutrient and water gets sucked out of the garden bed. Okay gardeners, so job done. We're going to have to see how this goes because really it could go anyway. We've got 4 layers of weed matting in, so it's doubled over in 2 batches. We've pretty heavily amended the soil, maybe not as much as when we originally did it when we were using all fresh soil, but we've got some of the old soil. We've put our sticks back down in the bottom of the bed, that kind of hugel culture approach. We've put in a little bit of blood and bone down deeper, a little bit of fertilizer down deeper as well. And then we've topped it with compost, mushroom compost, and a bit of our better soil delivery. And I haven't made this super light. I did put in a bit of core, but I didn't actually put in any of our vermiculite at this stage because I just wanted to see how this was going to go. The weed matting can be a little resistant to letting water out, so we'll see how the moisture situation goes. We've planted snow peas and purple peas along the front here, so they should get sun, and if they can get up our arch, they might go quite well. Along the back, because obviously sun is a bit of a premium in this spot, if you get out across the arch, you're good, but if you're in the back of the bed, not so good. we put some rocket in just to see whether it's going to work, because obviously that's a nice productive plant that we can eat and put in salads. And yeah, that's the transformation. So we went from a bed totally root bound, really, I don't think you could probably have grown anything really productive in it. And we've just got to hope that this is a bit more of a long-term solution, because I'd want to get 2-3 years between having to really do a big soil change. Obviously we'd be amending it and stuff like that. I'd want a couple of years though, before we might need to check the weed matting and see whether the roots have gotten through, whether, again, we have a similar kind of issue where there's no moisture, there's no nutrient being left for the stuff we want to grow. And I think one of the other considerations, obviously, in a situation like this where we've got our beautiful magnolias, is what we probably need to do is, I think you can buy like a leaf litter mulch, really, really cheap. And maybe I need to go buy a nice big chunk of that and put it down under all of these trees. So the 3 magnolias, we've got 2 apple trees, we think, and then a gardenia. And that might really revitalize the surrounding soil so that there's less of a gradient between kind of crappy soil and then the beautiful soil in our veggie gardens, so that the trees have more places to get their nutrients and their water from.